Well, hello everybody. We're out here today and I was going to plant my 4 o'clock seed that I've let soak overnight in a hot paper towel. And I found this is the best way to do the 4 o'clocks because they're such a hard seed. And I'm not going to put them in the greenhouse. It gets too hot in there even with the door open and even with the vent at the top. It's still too hot in there. So I found the best way. I've been... you can see that I sprouted Ace 55 tomatoes over here in a little pot. I've got right there in that little black pot, there's Ace 55 plants coming up. I've got Cherokee purple tomatoes over here in this pink pot. I've got Shasta Daisy coming up in this. And I'm going to put my broken 4 o'clocks in this until they come up. I've got Mexican mint in this little black pot if it ever comes up. I don't know how long it takes to come up. And they're little bitty tiny seeds that you plant. But this is the plan for today. So we're going to get over here and plant these seeds in this pot. And they're not like the little bitty seeds. They don't really stick to that paper towel. So I'm going to take the paper towel out. And I'm leaving my seed in the bag until I can get in there and get them. I've got 8 seeds that I'm going to put in here. And I'm just going to... You're supposed to plant them about a 1/2 inch deep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put one right in the middle. Now I'm hoping they come up. I love 4 o'clocks. My grandmother used to have them in her front yard, right next to the driveway. And I always thought they were the prettiest things, and I love to watch them when they close up. And then they open up every morning. And sticking to it. Then I'm just going to cover them up. Pack the dirt down just a tiny bit. I'm not packing it down. I just kind of, laid my hand on it. Not anything extreme. And I got just enough water in this little bucket from the drip off from my hose, just to put a little bit around the top. And I really don't have to do that because, like I said, the dirt in the pot is wet. It's just dry on the very top. I mean, my marigolds came up voluntarily here like that. So I figure, well, these other ones should do that too. From seed. Just have to remember. And I remember to water them better this way too. By moving that planter over here. Because every time I come out the door, you know, I see it and it reminds me to check the dirt, see, make sure that it's still damp, that type of thing. Yeah, I'm going to give my Mexican mint some more time. I mean, it's had time to come up, but like I said, I don't know how long it takes to come up. And there's little buddy sitting on the table. He loves watching. Yeah, he loves watching. And I'm just going to put my paper towel back in here. I may want to start some more seeds with it. But anytime you have a real hard seed, it's best to soak it overnight. Or soak it for a few days even. Or you can even leave it there till it sprouts and then plant it. But we're going to go around here to the back. I got my mask because I'm going to be digging in the dirt and I don't want to have to breathe the dirt. Because, you know, I'll start sneezing and coughing. But, you ready to go, little buddy? Are we going to go around back and start digging potatoes and seeing what else we can get into? Huh? I want you to see his cut, his wound is just healed up nicely. Get him to look up so you can see it. He'll look everywhere but where I want him to. See, his neck is healed up. It's healed up nicely. See there? It's look good. It looks good. Yes, it does. Yes, his neck looks real good. Yes, it does. I don't know what he did to that other cat or whatever it was attacked him, but little buddy is a fierce little kitty. I mean, and he's got claws. He can do some damage. So I can't imagine what that other cat or whatever it was attacked him looks like when little buddy got through with him. Because you know if little buddy had a rip in his neck the way he did, that other animal got hurt pretty bad. You coming with me, huh? He's following me around the table. Yeah, he's following me around the table. But yeah, his neck's healed up nice. I don't think it's going to give a problem. No, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And look at there at my hollyhocks. They're getting ready to have flowers, y'all. I'm so tickled. I know now the problem was they were around there in the shade. They needed sunshine. And they get sunshine here all afternoon. Hot afternoon sun. And they love it. Ain't that right, little buddy? Huh? Kitty, kitty. He's a sweetheart. Yes, he is. Well, let's get around there and see if we can dig in some totes. And I've kind of checked things this morning. Everything looks pretty good. Except for those trees coming down over there beside the wishing well. I got to get something done with them because they can't stay like that. The ground just got so wet and they were so rotten they just fell over. But they came over to my property from the other guy's lot. But see, the garden looks pretty good. And no, people have been asking me about my banana trees. There's my banana trees. I put both of them in the same pot. I figured they'd be better off in the same pot till they got bigger. And I wished I could have put them in the ground, but I don't think they would have made it in the ground. I really don't. I think it gets too dry here in the summer for them to make it in the ground. I mean, I might try it later on, but right now I just want them to survive and start growing and start looking halfway decent. But see, those potatoes are, the plants are dying out, so I think I'm going to go ahead and dig them. I know you're not supposed to, because I think they turn completely brown, but my kale looks good there. And see, these are dying down. I can get the potatoes out of there and put something else in place of them. And look at those sunflowers. Those are volunteer sunflowers, y'all. Every one of them over here were volunteer sunflowers. And look at all the Indian paint blanket flowers. I just think they're beautiful. And you got them go where they want to go, because you can plant them one place and they'll come up 20 feet away from where you planted them. Look at there. That sunflower just decided it wanted to grow there right beside my tomatoes. I got 3 tomato plants right there. I probably need to pull one out, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. That squash, I don't know about it. Doesn't look like it wants to do too much. I think that's a squash or a zucchini. The name is faded off of the tag, so I can't read it. And look at that Cimarron lettuce. I need to get some of this and make me a salad today for lunch. Use my avocado that I bought. And there's my raised bed, y'all. My turnips are looking good. I got carrots coming up. I don't know if the carrots will do anything. And my purple bell pepper come up. Look at there in the middle of that pot. My tomatoes all have blooms. And this one is just covered in little tomatoes. Look at that. If I can get this tripod around here to where I can show you. See, they're just covered in little tomatoes. This one is. And it won't be long before the other ones are, because they got blooms all over them. And you can see I put my shade cloth on my little canopy frame here to help keep some of the steam, hot sun in the middle of the afternoon off of my plants. Ain't that something to use a Frisbee for? That was just to put in the center of the tarp or the shade cloth to keep it up to where I can walk under here so it doesn't hit my head. It keeps hanging up on the screws on that frame though. And I hate that it's doing that, because it's going to cause it to rip even worse than what it is. This is the old shade cloth from last year that got beat up. So it already had a few holes in it. But what I'm going to do right now is I've got this climbing vine. You know, we put the yellow one over there with the clematis, and I'm going to put a red one over here. This has red flowers. It's the Rio Grande Red. And I didn't want to put it, I would have loved to put it on the other arbor around on the other side, but I'm afraid the reason it's not having flowers over there is because it's not getting enough sun. So I'm going to put this one on this side. And I might overcrowd my pot, but they say clematis love it because it helps shade the pot, keeps the roots cool. So we'll see. But I need to get it planted, so I decided I was going to put it in here. It'll be pretty with purple and pink and blue and red and yellow. I've got sunflowers in here. right down here beside this. I could get a hole big enough. I don't want to cut the roots to anything. Anything if I can help it. Let's get down a little bit deeper. There. Thank goodness I got it just deep enough. I think that'll be pretty. Get it growing up there and have a pretty red flower on it. And I forgot to get my gloves. I need to go get my gloves. I don't like touching or digging my hands in all this too much because it's got cow manure and all kind of stuff in it. Bugs in it. You name it in it. So I'm going to leave the camera right here. You can see me. I'm going to run up here and get my gloves. In the future, I'm probably going to build like a cement block or something to set those pots on either side here that are holding the clematis and the vine, you know, that goes over the arbor. Because they're on little round fat stumps right now, which work because it looks natural. But, you know, they're not going to last forever. They'll finally rot away. And when that happens, I want to build some kind of little stand equally as high as the stump. And actually what I could do is while the stump is still alive, I could put concrete all around the outside of it. And go ahead and do it now. I'd have to have some way to hold the pots up though. But anyway, I got too much going on. I start doing one thing and I get 10 other things going through my mind to do. And it got me jumping from one thing to the other. And I can't do that. This morning, go on over here. I'll try not to make you dizzy. At least we'll be in the shade around here, because part of the garden is partly shaded on this side. But we got 2 tubs, 2 totes that I planted in potatoes. And there's one of them right there, that gray one. So I'm gonna get over there and dig around and see if there's any potatoes. Well, I gotta get my thing first. I can use this thing to try to dig them because it won't stick in the potato and damage the potato. Now I don't know that there's, whoop, there's a little one. I got a couple of little bitty ones. Of course I don't want the little bitty tiny ones. They're not even big as a marble, but that's for a new potato, that's a good size right there. And I should have brought me something to put them in, but I didn't think I was going to get any. Oh, look at there. Look at there, y'all. Look at my potatoes. I'm tickled to death. That's about the size you want a new red potato to be. I mean, there was only a couple, but look at there. And I got a white potato too. I had a white potato planted in there. Those are just the right size to, what we normally do is boil them, leave skin and all on them, and then take them out of the pan where they're boiled and fry them. Look at there, I got potatoes. They're not very big, but hey, they're potatoes. Look at there. Now that's the size of a little red potato that I love, because we boil it with the skin on and then put it in the pan and fry it, brown it. Oh, it's so good. And store-bought potatoes just don't taste that good. Oh, look at there. Look at there, y'all. I got more. I gotta go get me a container to put them in. I'll be right back. If they'd have been out in the sun, y'all, they might have gotten bigger. There's another little white potato or gold potato. There's another little one. It's a nice size one for the way I like to cook them, it is. They call them new potatoes. And they're perfect size to put in the green beans the way I fixed them. See, I had planned to harvest these before I cooked my beans. And I was going to show you how we put the new potatoes in there. But I had to use the ones I had because I hadn't gotten out here and dug them yet. There's another one. It's a darn bone in there. But see, if you take something that's too sharp, it'll stick in the potatoes. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to stick holes in my potatoes trying to dig them. Ain't that right, little buddy? Huh? And with potatoes, you got to go all the way down because you never know how many might be at the very bottom. Look at there. And I saw another one. Thought I saw another one over there. So get you a tool like this if you're planting potatoes. Unless you want to dump the whole thing. I didn't want to pick it up and dump it. So I'm just digging it out like this. Did I scare you, little buddy? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. But see now, in turning it all up like that, you got it ready to plant again. The dirt's all loosened up. We got our potatoes out of there. And we got a pretty good bit of them in there, I think. And now we get to dig the other one over here. Move the camera. Little buddy, I got myself trapped in my garden. See if I can get it over here so you can see. There you go. I don't want to hide your view of me digging them. Let's see what we can find. And see, one of our plants is still halfway alive here. It's got a couple of potatoes on it. That one's too little. Let's see what else is in there. I mean, I didn't expect to find any. I really didn't. I didn't have any confidence that I was going to find any potatoes. There's another one. It got so wet down in there. Those two little red ones. pretty good size red one. And it might be better for me to dump it. I don't know, because I may end up leaving potatoes in the bottom. Because there's some right in the very bottom of this one. Right there. It's totally wet down in there. Goes some. One. Yeah, I really need to dump it. I need to dump both of them. Because I'm finding potatoes way down in the bottom. You know this is rich dirt. There was see a couple of earthworms in there. And there's one that was cut in half. I don't want to throw it back in there because it'll start growing, and I don't want to grow potatoes in here the rest of the summer. I mean, I could replant potatoes and grow them for the rest of the summer right here. Goes one. Another little white one. I remember some of these totes, I mixed up the potatoes. They have white and red, or yellow and red. If that had just been able to grow a little bit more before that bush died, I'd have had bigger, more potatoes. But the little ones are good. Just depends on how you want to cook them. Yep, they're all the way down in the bottom. You know what? We need to dump it. We need to dump it. I could get I guess, plastic bag or something and put on the ground and dump it. I don't know. Something big enough that I can dump them and be able to put the dirt back in the tote later. Let's see. I don't know if that'll work or not. Really need to open up the bags to do this, but and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to dump it without breaking the tote. It's pretty heavy. Ugh. Whew. Well, I can do it this way, but I'm gonna have to move the camera. This is a job, y'all, even though it's in the shade. I mean, they get partial sun over here. And that might be why the potatoes didn't get any bigger. Move my pot. Now, let's see if I can get over there and dig them out. See what you're seeing. I mean, I may not have any more down in there, but this is the only way you're going to be sure. And look at all that dirt, y'all. That was compost. Look at there. I'm glad I did that. Look at that. And there's another one. But I can always put the dirt back in there. Or what you could do, you don't even have to dump the tote. You can dig out the dirt, check the dirt as you go, put it in another container, and then put it back. But you don't want to forget and leave any of your potatoes in there. Not after waiting so long to get them to grow and produce. No, there's more. And I would have missed them. There you go. This dirt is really wet because of all the rain we got. And there's earthworms in there too. Tons of them. Well, not tons of them, but there's there's quite a few I see. They're little ones. Now I'm going to have to lift that back up. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing over there since I moved it. Yeah, you can see. I'm just going to try to dig around the other end of the tub or the tote to see if there's potatoes that are left down in this end. But you never know, there might be. A little bitty one. About the size of a marble. Right there. But you know, this tote had all kind of wood, leaves, all kind kind of stuff down in it, and it's basically all went to soil now. So right now is a good time to replant in it. Get it back over there. Now I'm just going to try to get my soil back in it. And I can check the rest of the dirt while I'm doing it to make sure there's no more potatoes. But that's going to be prime dirt right there to plant tomatoes or anything in that I'm growing, for peppers. And like I said, you can turn right around and plant more potatoes in it. Get your second harvest of potatoes. It's just up to the person that's got the garden. And I'm putting it back in there now because I don't want it to dry out. Those earthworms will stay in there. Oh goodness. I got a half a pot of potatoes, y'all. Whew. Found another potato, little one. So we know beyond a shadow of a doubt we got all the potatoes out of this one that's in there. Whew. Now we probably need to come over here and do the same with this one. Got to move the camera again. Oh. Turn this. I'm going to have to clean my tripod off when I'm through, because it got everything all dirty. Whew. It's hot out here. And I am sweating like crazy. The only thing about dumping them is you may crack your tote. That's one thing I'm afraid of. Now this one may crack. So I'm just going to dig it out. the best I can, and then I'll just put it back if I don't find any more potatoes. Because this is one of my older totes. It's been here for several years. And it's holding together. I can still use it. But you don't want to pick it up and put weight against it or strain against it, because it will crack. It starts drying out, it'll crack. But I don't want to leave my potatoes in there if I've got any more. And I may not have to dig it all out, but just enough to where I can get to the bottom. And I'm being able to get down to the bottom of this. So far I haven't seen any more. So I may have gotten them all out the first go round. But this tool is fantastic. It doesn't have sharp points to stick in your potatoes if you dig in them. Unless you're jamming it pretty hard. Well, I think I did a pretty good job of getting them all out the first time, because I don't see any more. But you know what? We got that all stirred up and loosened up. And all of the wood that was put in there, the wood bark and the leaves and everything else is pretty well broken down. And it's made some good soil to plant garden vegetables in. Oh, let's see what I'll do. See, I save all my garden soil bags if I ever buy any. But when I do, I save them and I either turn them into grow bags or use them like this. But you can see, just out of those 2 totes that we just had, we got a pot of potatoes. I don't know if I'm going to need the bags over on the other side or not. I probably might take them over there. And I don't know how I'm going to do the tripod and the bags. And it's out in the sun over there now. Raise that up a tiny bit. Whew. It's hot. It's getting toward the hottest part of the day, and I'm out here digging potatoes. Let's see. Thought I wanted to do that one next. And I'm not going to be able to dump that because it's got that sunflower growing in it, and I don't want to mess the sunflower up. But I got a pan. I can dig around in here the best I can. This little red potatoes. I'm going to have to dig that one out. I may be able to put it back. Look at there, I got to get my potatoes out of here. Look at this. Look at my potatoes, y'all. Let me turn this around because I'm feeling you can't see. I mean, look at that. That was right down in there beside the sunflower. So having it in the sun made a little bit of difference. But I'm going to try to turn it around. So I can kind of see what I'm showing you here. Thought I had another little potato. There it is. I think I'm going to stick this other sunflower right down in here. Right with these other sunflowers. Maybe it'll have a happy life there, I don't know. It's gonna make it hard to dig for potatoes when you got Another plant in here. There's a big one. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that, y'all. Big as my hand. There's another good sized one. Well, if I left any potatoes back there, I guess they'll start growing again. Look at there. I don't want to dig up my little sunflowers, but I don't want to leave any potatoes down in there either. A couple of them here. There's 3 more little ones. Whew. I bet you there's potatoes down in there that I'm missing. And I'll leave them, they're going to start growing. Whew, I got to straighten up. Whew. This is a job, y'all. I can't believe it. I got that pot almost full, and now I've got this pan. They're even bigger over here where they got sun. So I know next time I'm going to plant all my potatoes on this side so they get plenty of sun. I think they'll do better over here. Ooh, got another big one. Look at that. All my red potatoes over here. Oh, it's hard to dig them this way. Goodness gracious. There's an easier way if you dump them. I guess that's why people like to plant them in the 5-gallon buckets or containers that you can dump pretty easy. Whew. Still got a ways to go here. Little red one. There's another one. I hate disturbing my sunflowers, but gotta dig my potatoes. There's another one. Whew. Something keeps biting me. Oh, goodness. Another good size one. Oh. Ooh, it gets me bending over like that. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more containers with potatoes in them that's got to be dug, but I don't think I'm gonna get them all done this morning. It's getting too hot out here. I may wait till it's a little cooler. That sun's not so hot. You got to check all the way to the bottom if you can, because you'll end up thinking you got all of them and they'll be in the very bottom. But I think I got them all. I really do. And they grow so much better if you can grow them in the ground. Give them plenty of room to grow. But it shows you can grow them like this too. Whew. Y'all, I gotta go get in the shade a little bit. That's 3 of them we harvested. Whew. Oh man. So there's our potato harvest, y'all, out of 3 totes. That's quite a few potatoes, I think. Whew. I want to get over there and wash them so I can take them in the house. And there's one of them creepy crawlers. Ugh. They're gross. They're everywhere. I can't tell what I'm showing you here. I guess you can see them. Now, one thing about it, like if you were digging potatoes and you had tons of potatoes and you're not going to eat them right away, what you need to do is don't wash them. Do not wash your potatoes. Leave the dirt on them just like you dug them. Put them out under a tree in the shade. Let them dry. After they dry real good for several days, maybe even a week, you can store them in like a burlap sack and put them in a shady, cool place and keep them for a long time. That's how people store their potatoes over the winter. But do not wash them. Dig them, and I know it's nasty to leave all the dirt on them, but that's what you do. You leave the dirt on them. Let them dry and store them. I'm going to eat these pretty quick. That's why I'm washing them. Because I'm going to take them in the house. That's not good. Got a mosquito. On my arm. I hope you can see and I'm not standing in front of the camera. See, new potatoes, you can just about rub the peeling off of them. Whoops. Lost my potato. Maybe the next time I plant potatoes, they'll do even better. Mm. Yeah, I don't want to harvest any more of those potatoes. I'm going to leave them right in those tubs until, because I'll eat them as I harvest them. Let's see. I'm going to lower this thing. I think that might help. But there's my potato haul, y'all. Out of just 3 totes, I got that many potatoes. I mean, and look at some of them. Look at the size of those potatoes, y'all. Those are pretty good sized potatoes. Those are big as you'd buy if you bought them at the store. And like I said, the little ones are just as good as the big ones, because if you boil them and fry them whole, just boil them skin and all, take them out of the boiling water, put them in a frying pan with some grease, some oil, and fry them till they're pretty crispy all over, all around. And that's some good eating right there. There, so I got a pot full of potatoes. I need to put this back. But I need to put this back in the grill, because that catches all the stuff in the grill. But it's not the grill anymore, it's my potting table. So I store my tools in there. But I not only got a pot of potatoes, but I freed up 3 totes. Do I have somewhere else to plant my peppers and my other tomatoes when I transplant them? Whew. I'm tired, y'all. I got to go in the house and sit down and get me something to drink and rest. And I got to put up another tarp. Not a tarp, a shade cloth on this side. I'm going to hook it to the side of the canopy, bring it down just on this side of the tomato plants, and put some kind of stake there to hold it up to where it'll give these shade in the hot afternoon. I got too much planted, y'all. Got too much to shade. Some people plant just maybe 1 row of stuff, and I got a whole yard full of stuff. Get over here in the shade. Oh my goodness, that shade feels good. Little buddy. Oh, goodness. I can take my mask off now. But yeah, look at my pot of potatoes I just dug. Well, we just dug all those potatoes. And that's not even half of my potatoes to dig yet. And like I said, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna wait a day or so before I dig the other ones. It's a job. Because those plants haven't completely died down yet. So the potatoes are still growing. So, ain't that right, little buddy? He says, I really don't care about your potatoes. He says, I don't eat potatoes. He said, what you thinking? But look out there at my moonflowers. Look at the size of them. They're pretty, y'all. Those things are about 4 foot tall. Beautiful. And the goal was to get them like that all the way around to the other side, but I don't know. I don't know if it's too shady on the other side or not. Look at that. Aren't those pretty? There was a bunch of them open this morning, all down on the other side too. But see, when you got a bunch of plants, a bunch of them will open. The more plants you have, the bigger they get, the more flowers you're going to have open. And see that dead tree right there? Right in the middle of the screen, it's coming down toward me. It's going to fall on this tree here in my yard if it's not cut. The other one has already fell across the yard, so it's got to be cut out. And I really don't want to have to do it. But there's the hostas. And something is eating the leaves on that one. And that's eat part of the leaf over there. I guess I need to spray it with something. And there's the biggest one so far. Big Daddy Hosta. And there's one, the third one right there. With the sunflower growing right beside it. And there's my, I don't remember what I planted there. I don't know if it's a squash, yellow squash. I think it's one of those mashed potato squashes. And I don't remember what the other two are. But it's getting one on it, that's the reason I can tell. Right up there at the top, it's got one. And at the base of it, it looks kind of roundish. Like it's going to be a mashed potato squash. Oh my goodness. I got to get something else in here. It doesn't look like even the marigolds are going to survive in that little pot. My cilantro, it's probably getting too hot for it. About the time it gets big enough you can start harvesting it, it's going to be too hot on it. And with all that rain, it didn't even get in there. See all the moonflowers on this side? It's overflowing with flowers, y'all, now. Took me a long time to get something to live in here, but It's finally happening. And as much as it rained, none of it got in that wishing well out there. I'm going to have to take some compost tea or something and go right back out there and water it. It'll just take me a minute. Yeah, that's right, little buddy. Creepy crawlers. Wish those things would go away. I just got one little bucket of water I'm going to take out there. You going with me, little buddy? Huh? Everywhere I walk in this yard, I find those things. That's that buck caterpillar. He looks black, but once he stretches out or moves, you see the green down close to his body. And every one of those little hairy things will sting you. So one sting gives you probably 50 stings or more. I just squirted his guts out. I step on every one I find because I don't want to be stung again. And I'm hoping they don't. Live much longer. Isn't that right, little buddy? We're hoping they don't live much longer. He's sitting there guarding my potatoes. But see there? Just for a few cut up potatoes that I threw in a tub, let them stay there for a couple of months. I've got me a pot full of potatoes. And that's just out of, like I said, 3 totes. I've got, what, about 5 more to dig? But yeah, again, I want to remind you, if you're going to dig these potatoes and you want to store them very long, do not wash them after you dig them. Spread them out under a shade tree or somewhere in the shade, in the cool. Let them dry out real good. All the dirt dries on the outside. Once they're good and dry, store them in a burlap bag or put them in a cardboard box and put them in a dark, cool space. Like put them in a closet in the bedroom or somewhere. And they'll keep pretty long. And with that, I'm going to take my potatoes in the house wanted to get little buddy in the picture. But with that, I'm going to take my potatoes in the house. I'm going to end my video. And little buddy and I both tell you have a good day. Have a blessed night tonight. We'll see you on our next video. Bye now. Love y'all.